Hey there, happy Saturday. We are going to be reorganizing and fixing up my office a little bit. I'm just feeling like it's not working for me and it became a huge mess. Most of the things are just hiding in that back closet. And so we're going to go through all the things. I've got sweats jammy style on. I've got my coffee made and we're just going to tackle this thing together. So if you want to see how I've set up my remote office and how I'm reorganizing it, just getting myself geared up for this next year, making sure things are comfortable for me and I'm extra productive, then stay tuned and watch. Hang out. Getting your office space decluttered and organized and the space that you spend a lot of time in is so important, especially moving into this next year. Like, I have been working really hard the last 6 months on a lot of things, and then the holidays happened, and it just became a whole like dumping ground for all the things. And so I just really felt like, oh, yeah, I couldn't even open the door to the closet at this point. It was such a disaster in there. Like I said, a dumping ground for all the things. And for some of you, you might know that I had my entire agency go remote back in June and taking a 2,000 square foot office and like becoming this small space that I use personally. I just had a lot of things that I had to organize. And here you're going to see me just kind of starting to take everything out. It always gets worse before it gets better. So I started taking things out and really categorizing them in different categories of things that are maybe for my family, my kids, things I just threw in a box or a basket. And I started making different categories. So like I said, always gets worse before it gets better. And just a bunch of different categories of things. I ordered this box from Amazon of these plastic bins so that I can start taking all these little boxes I have and repurposing them into a box that's uniform and they fit these shelves that I have in the closet. And so if you want to know where I got those, I will link those below. But really, I'm just taking everything out, getting rid of as much as possible. I was actually really excited about these boxes that were left from Amazon for just kind of like a trash bin. And then I also got these smaller bins from Costco. I think they were like $6 for four of them, so it was really inexpensive. And so I'm just starting to figure out how I'm going to recategorize things, reorganize things, put them into these clear boxes, and just making sure that I have things labeled. And you'll also see soon that I got a gift, a Cricut Joy gift from one of my team members, which I love and I was so excited to get, but I haven't even had time to open it or play with it. And my birthday was in the beginning of December, so we are well into the beginning of January and I haven't touched it. A lot of the stuff in here I have is also like memorabilia, things that we keep as a family. My husband's actually super romantic in the sense he likes to keep all kinds of little things. And then just stuff that we had from our relationships before or our lives before we got married. I've been married for 13 years, so you can imagine how long we've had these things. For example, here, these are all the different CDs that I had back in the day. I mean, some of these are super nostalgic. I had like LL Cool J, Tupac, Blink 182, 311, Offspring, Sublime, 90s favorite mixes. Let me know if you guys keep your CDs as well. They're super nostalgic. It's funny because I was telling my husband, I'm like, we don't even have a way to play these CDs. But here are the different categories. I was just kind of pointing them out, talking about like what I'm doing with them. I have house stuff, I have trash, I have pictures, I have carts, I have these backpacks full of stuff. Really just a bunch of different categories going on here, trying to figure out if they still need to live in my office in the storage system or what. Pretty cool. So, if you've been following me for a while, you have heard me talk about how I buy the big post-it paper and I do a lot of my business planning and things. And so I have old planning posters from when we were at State Farm, when we were with other businesses, a lot of planning that we did, and I've literally just kept it all. So these are like blueprints of past businesses and how we evolved over time to get to where we are. There's some unburden your business stuff in here. I mean, it's a lot. So I've been keeping those because I want to go through them again, see if there's any good stuff maybe I can share with you guys. One, it's nostalgic, and two, there's really good value in here. So that's how I've been keeping it. I'm probably gonna go through that, but let's go through here for a second. So I have not even attempted to touch this stuff. We're gonna go here next, but I did condense a lot of this stuff. And I went ahead and redid all of our like keepsake pictures, photos into these new bins. And this is where we keep them. And the rest of the stuff in here is holiday decor or lots of suitcases and different things like that that just get shoved under the stairs. But really all I use is this area for like business and storage. And so some of this is organized, some of it's just been thrown in here, but we're gonna tackle all this stuff. There's all my books color-coded, and then a bunch just shoved in there that I've gotten recently. So let's start tackling this. I really try to schedule myself about every 3 months to really go in here and make sure that things are just not piling up. It took me probably about 2 hours Sunday morning to do this, and then you'll actually see in a little bit my outfit changes. I put makeup on and a baseball cap because we went out to lunch as a family, and then I came back and kind of finished throughout the night. So I would say probably another 2 hours to really get this space cleared. And my goal was to get rid of anything I'm not using. Like if I haven't touched it in 6 months or a year, I'm not going to touch it anymore. And look at all this paperwork, look at all this stuff. Like there's so much that I still needed to go through. But again, I was going through and just making different categories and contexts of stuff based on what they were, and seeing if the bins and seeing if the things that I had to organize and store were still going to work for me. Did things need to be removed? Do they need to be rehoused? Now that I'm getting rid of stuff, like what does that need to look like? I have so much stuff from Unburden Your Business, the Unfiltered Experience conference we had in 2022. And again, when we moved into this space, or I moved into this space back in June, I did my best to organize, but I did put a lot of stuff I still needed to go through just kind of in there. And I just haven't had time to filter through it. So this is really what I'm continuing to do. These units are Calex units. I hope I'm saying that right, from IKEA. They were in my kids' rooms, and so we ended up redoing their rooms, and I was like, this is gonna fit great in the closet, in the office, so I'm just gonna use these to store and organize my stuff. Now, it was time for me to work on my desk, and honestly, at first it was just about function. It was just about making sure I could get my work done. Everything that I needed that I was going to be using on a daily basis was in front of me, connected, working, doing all the things, but it just wasn't working for me. It felt really cluttered, and I didn't feel inspired to get work done. And here I'm just taking all the different pieces that was on my desk, figuring out if I really need it, and moving on. Now, I got really stuck in this part of like, what do I want my desk to feel like? I was testing out the camera. I was testing to see what was behind me. I was trying to see if I could hide more cords. Did I really need the stuff that I had before? How do I connect it all? This is also a sit-stand desk, and so I was having to make sure that it can go up and down and just do all the things. And obviously I'm cleaning, making sure everything's clean as I'm going through all this stuff. Now, the next piece was going through my planner cart. I love doing planning and sticker planning. It's just a hobby of mine, but it also keeps me really productive. And so I started going through all the different stickers I have, all the different papers, all the different tools I use for planning, and making my cart fresh and just ready to go. All the pens, all the things. Yes, there's a lot. At this point in the night, I was so exhausted, but it felt so good to have all this stuff, put it back kind of where I was going to store it and need it. And I was able to just go back, look through all the different drawers, look through all the different things that I had, and really make sure that what I was keeping was easily accessible and it was only the stuff that I was using on a regular basis. And so it felt really, really good to end the night like this. Even Marley was exhausted. This was the next morning. It was much cleaner, the way I like it. I was really inspired to get to work. Can't wait for 2024 and getting all these things done. This is your inspiration to go through, declutter your office, make your space clean and organized so that you can be inspired and get to work. If you've liked this video, make sure to subscribe. Thank you so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one.